Hey, this is Gelennil. Welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be going through how to make vegan cinnamon buns. So let's go straight through what we need to make these. So for the dough, we'll need 500 milliliters of almond milk, 125 grams of melted vegan butter, 1 sachet of instant yeast, 60 grams of caster sugar, 700 grams of plain flour, and 1 teaspoon of salt. For the filling, 175 grams of vegan butter, 150 grams brown sugar, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Then for the icing, 165 grams powdered sugar, 2 to 3 tablespoons of almond milk, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So let's get straight into it. So we'll start by adding the almond milk, the melted butter, the caster sugar, and yeast into a large mixing bowl, gently mixing them and then just leaving it to sit for 5 minutes for the yeast. Once you've left that for 5 minutes, you want to slowly add 600 grams of the flour while gently mixing it while you're adding this. So just slowly pour some of it in and mix with a spoon. Then you just want to add your 1 teaspoon of salt as well to the mix. Now you just want to thoroughly mix this again with your spoon, making sure there's no more dry flour left to the sides, making sure to scrape the bottom of the bowl and the sides with your spoon. Once you've mixed this thoroughly and there's no more dry flour, you will just be covering this with a tea towel or any kind of cloth and leaving it to rise for an hour. After it has risen for an hour, Now you want to add the remaining 100 grams of your flour and gently knead with your hands. This may require more than 100 grams of extra flour. You want to knead it until the texture of your dough is no longer sticky so that it sticks to your hands. As you can see at first, it is a very sticky dough texture and will stick to your hands, which we do not want to have happen when we are trying to roll out the dough. Yeah, as you can see, I had to also add more flour as mine was still too sticky for me to be able to manage. So then once you've got your dough to a consistency where you can grab it and it's not sticking to your hands, that's where you can move on. So you just want to lightly flour your surface. And begin with rolling out your dough. Now, as it is quite hard for me to be able to roll this out with the camera in front of me, I will only be rolling out a short bit and then I'll be jumping forward. So once you've got your dough rolled out, we can start by making the filling. So firstly, we are going to get our 175 grams of vegan butter and we'll be creaming it with a fork, just to make it a lot easier for us to be able to spread over the top of our dough. So yeah, once we've got our butter fairly creamed, we can now start spreading it over to the top of the dough. Just nearly knocked the camera over there, but let's continue. So you just want to spread it evenly across all of the dough you have. But do be gentle that you don't pull up the dough while spreading the butter over it. Once you have your butter fully spread over your dough, we'll then be getting your brown sugar and just sprinkling that over the top of it. Try to spread it as evenly as you can, but if you've got larger clumps in some areas it shouldn't matter too much. Once you've got the brown sugar covered over it, you just want to get your cinnamon and do the exact same thing, gently sprinkling that over the top as well. I did accidentally get a bit of a large clump in one area as soon as I started there, but as you want to just try and get it as even as you can again. Now we're finished with that, we just want to start very gently rolling the dough. Just be careful as the bottom of it may be slightly stuck to your surface, so you just want to be very careful pinching it and pulling it over. There, now we have it fully rolled. Now you just want to lightly oil a deep baking tray or use a circular dish, whichever you have, but you do want it to be fairly high at the sides just to hold in all of these together. And now try to carefully cut these. It is quite hard. I did make quite a bit of mess of this, but try to slice these in as even rolls as you can. And as you can see, the dough mixture does get stuck to the knife quite a bit, so it can be a bit annoying to try and get through these, but if they're messy, as soon as you bake them, they will still be fine. Now once you've cut the rolls and placed them into your baking tray, you just want to bake them for 25 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees. And once you've got them, you just want to place them back out onto your tray. And now we'll be moving on to the icing. So we'll get 2 to 3 tablespoons of almond milk, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and add it to your powdered sugar. And you just want to whisk this with either a whisk, or you could just use a fork like I am using. Now as you can see, the icing wasn't quite the consistency I wanted, so I just added the 3rd tablespoon. And as soon as you've got your icing to the texture you like, just gently put it over your cinnamon buns. You can be as decorative as you want, or just, like me, just throw it on top really. Once cooled, just gently slice and you'll be able to pry them apart. Then just enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. It would help me so much if you liked, commented and subscribed. Enjoy!